What's up, Toy Fam, and welcome to the Totally Cool channel where we are on our Transformers Tuesday episode. Just a reminder, everybody, it's Transformers Tuesday, it's Throwback Thursday, and it's Superhero or Supervillain Saturdays. Now, we're thinking about coming up with a fan favorite Friday, maybe 2 Fridays a month, but we're still looking at our schedule. As you know, you got to keep the day job. This is not really something we do full time. But in the meantime, we're exploring the possibility of doing a fan favorite Friday to feature some of our toys that do not fall into those categories. Like, for example, we have the weapon prop of Kratos, the God of War, from the PS4 games, or from the PlayStation games, not just PS4, PlayStation 2, I think. So that's there. We also have some Pop Marts. We also have some bag charms. We also have a few stuff that's kind of current, but not necessarily superhero-ish, not necessarily... So you can't put them in Throwback Thursday, not Transformers. So there's a lot of our collection that falls in the nooks and crannies of these 3 categories. So we're doing a fan favorite Friday. The only way we can do that is if we can get you to comment on our posts. Put down your suggestion, whatever you want to see. If we have it, we're going to respond to that comment, and we're going to tell you when we're going to shoot it, we're going to edit it, and we're going to post it. Sounds like a deal? Sounds like a deal. So looking forward to getting your comments, and hopefully we can open a toy that you requested that's already in our collection. If not, we're gonna look for it. All right. So with that, let's move on with our featured toy for the day. As you can see, we only have 3 boxes left on the side before we move into a different set. All right. By the way, Transformers news, we just got just yesterday, we got 2 of the new aerial bots from Age of the Primes. So they're going to be shown on the channel sometime soon, and we're going to be doing a comparison with their Combiner Wars counterparts. So that being said, let's move on to the current star of the show. And for today, this is a very special toy because I got this from a place quite far from here. In fact, it takes about 4 hours to fly there. Last 2 episodes will be a double feature with Cordon and Spin Out. It's a 2-parter because one box has 2. And the last one, we're going to move into the Legacy line with Lift Ticket. But for now, let's focus on this guy. Again, not a very eye-catching box. It's just like a packaging box or a shipper's box. As usual, you have the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy at the top. And you got 2/3 and 1/3 of the Autobot insignia. But what's interesting is what's at the bottom. I still have the original price tag. So this cost me about 59 Singaporean dollars about 2 or 3 years ago when we started really getting deep into the collection. And this is none other than Decepticon Sandstorm. Decepticon Sandstorm is GS21. GS21. Tim Duncan fans, Kevin Garnett fans, GS21, WFC GS21. As you can see, because we got this from a trusted or trustworthy seller, it actually was placed in a mall. We did not have to open it because we knew what was inside was going to be a legit product. So without further ado, let's free him up. Again, this is very sentimental for me because this was my first visit to Singapore after the pandemic, or during the pandemic, while the pandemic was starting to ease up. We were able to travel to a different country. I was able to visit some family in Singapore, and of course, you can't miss the opportunity to look for a toy store. Same way that we did a few weeks ago when we went to Hong Kong, and the same with our trip to Japan. By the way, our next feature for Transformers Tuesday after these 2 would be I think it would be a preview of what we got in Japan a few months ago. All right? So with that, let's move on to the actual reason why you're watching this episode, the Decepticon Sandstorm. Sandstorm. Okay? All right. There we go. Nice. Alright. Now, Decepticon Sandstorm is a Voyager class, meaning he is the third up the scale in terms of size. Okay? So that's Decepticon Sandstorm. Pretty straightforward figure. You have the clamshell. You have the certificate. Is it a certificate? Or it's just a product? Something? Warning? And then you have the manual. As usual, the manual says it's 8 years old and above. And how many moves does it take to transform him to? I presume Sandstorm is a fighter. Yes, it takes 24 moves to get him from this to this. Okay, as you can see, Sandstorm is a very familiar mold because he is a conehead. Alright, now the original coneheads, actually the original Seekers, when I say Seekers, this was in the War for Cybertron trilogy. That was the first time when this term was coined, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, put them in the comment box. The Seekers were initially the 3 F-15s. You have Starscream, who is the air leader of the Decepticons, and you have Thundercracker and Skywarp. Thundercracker, by the way, started this whole collection. I'm sure you've seen that in our previous episodes. Now, there were 3 others that came in that did not have any Earth-like aircraft counterparts. They were not Seekers. I'm not sure. I have to check it out. If you have any ideas, put them in the comment box, or I'll post them somewhere on the screen. But when you say coneheads, that means their head was shaped like a cone, right? The original coneheads were Ramjet, Dirge, and what's the other one? Ramjet, Dirge. I keep forgetting. Ramjet, Dirge, and there's another one. Okay, it's gonna be, if I forget, it's gonna be somewhere here. I'll post it somewhere on the screen. I'll put the picture also. Ramjet, Dirge. I can't. Anyway, so he has the same mold as one of these coneheads. The reason why he's called Sandstorm is because, as you can see, the color scheme is brown, tan, and speckled. I'll show you the back when we take him out of the clamshell. Is similar to the Desert Storm chocolate chip camouflage scheme that the U.S. military used when they protected, or when they kind of got into when they went into I think it was 1991 or 1990, when they had to defend Kuwait from Saddam Hussein. That's a little bit of history. So I'm not sure if you join this channel for that, but it's a little bit of trivia. So what we'll do now is take him out of the clamshell so you can see the actual figure and what really makes him live up to the name Sandstorm. Alright, so unlike the other Generation Selects that we had and we opened, this one has a plastic tie that keeps him in place. So we cut that, and that's the only one. Typical of the Decepticon Seekers and Flyers is this distinct cannon on both arms. Okay, let's take both out. It's kind of bendy. Okay. So these were the arm cannons that we freed up from this, and finally got them out. Be careful when you take them out, because when you they may bend. Okay, so it's Ramjet, Dirge, and the other one is Thrust. Okay, Thrust. Now let's see what this one is similar to. As per usual, we take him out with legs first. That way you can ease the secured parts by sliding him out. Take the arms out also. Okay, take the arms out also. And in future episodes, again, if you're intrigued, we will show you how we transform them, and we'll just do a transformation guide. Very quick and easy. Okay. 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 Wow. Okay. It's a pretty stunning figure. Now, the good thing about this figure is that even though we're seeing a little bit of yellowing on the arms, okay, there's a little bit of changes in the paint or in the plastic. It doesn't really have that much of an adverse effect because of the entire color scheme. You just see that it's quite different. Now, I don't see any of that in the rest of the figure, except for the forearm and the hands. So let's do, as per usual, let's do our articulation review. Again, really not much of an articulation review when you do Transformers, because they're supposed to, move body parts in ways that human beings normally don't. So you have the head just turns right, left, okay, all the way to the back. He's doing a Linda Blair. Okay, arms as again 90 degrees forward. Can't move backward because it's got something blocking it, but this is part of the whole wing assembly when it transforms. Okay, it doesn't have a waist twist. Okay, it doesn't have a waist twist. If I can, let me see. No, it doesn't have a waist twist because the transformation does not need for it to turn its waist for the other parts to sync together and form part of the tail. Now you can see that this does not have a real tail, more of just a wing, a delta wing attached to the body. You see that more when we transform him. So the legs, you've got the knees, very, very minimal knee movement because this one is hitting the arms, or if you move it up, it can only go so far. Okay, 90 degrees. Is that 90 degrees? Yeah, that's 90 degrees. Okay, as you can see, it's already opening and it's starting to accept the leg as part of its transformation sequence. Okay, now the feet, they close like this. Again, as part of the transformation sequence. Not really much in terms of articulation. So transformers are pretty straightforward when you try to transform them, and when you build them and you put them together and you convert them. This one more especially, more so because it's a very quick transformation. 26 moves, but not so much in terms of variation with the other cone heads, and even to a certain degree with the other seekers. Now, this is an interesting accent that I would like to point out. If you would remember, some of you who are military hardware nuts or fans, F-4 Phantom, or if I'm not mistaken, even the World War II aircraft of the United States, they like to paint these shark jaws and eyes, sometimes on their bombs or even their missiles, but mostly on their aircraft, especially fighter aircraft. So this one has that distinct accent that when you convert him into a plane, he has this nasty shark painting or shark face on his nose. Okay, so let's do a quick toy review. By the way, he has the same mold as this guy. I'm not sure if it's either one of the three, because unlike Thundercracker, Skywarp, and Starscream, who are exact replicas of each other, they just have different powers and they just have different colors, but they're all modeled after the F-15 Eagle. This guy, Sandstorm, is patterned after one of the three distinct cone heads. Now, the cone heads may have the same look when they're transformed, pretty much the cone head. But in alt mode, They have very distinct looks. Thrust, I'm pretty sure this is not Thrust, because Thrust has the big turbofans on the right, on the part, on the part of the wing. It could either be Dirge or Ramjet. Dirge and Ramjet are pretty similar to each other. I'll show you, I'll put a picture somewhere to show you which one, which mode he was patterned after, or was he, or what recolor of what character this guy is. So that being said, let's do a character review. I'm sorry, let's do a toy review. All right. Again, you know, box appeal, not really much, because he's inside the box, he's caged. I've actually been thinking about delaying, actually, the opening of this box, because like I said, I got it from Singapore. It wasn't that pricey, but it was my first purchase out of the country, which was an escalation of my toy. Is it an addiction? No, it's my enthusiasm with toys, and particularly the Transformers. But what really convinced me to open this guy up was because of the distinct color scheme that he's got. I mean, look at the back, man. Just look at the back. It's just amazing. I mean, that chocolate chip camouflage scheme, it's just, you know, it's very striking. It's very distinct. In fact, if he was an original member of the Coneheads, I wouldn't mind. I would love if he was, okay? You would want to see this on a regular. Okay? And as for the arms, why is he not balanced? I'm not sure. Did I do something here? No. Okay, he's not balanced. Maybe it's a table. Now, as I mentioned, the arm cannons are specific, or very recognizably Seekers or Decepticon flyers. Kind of follows a pattern of, say, Megatron with an arm cannon, Shockwave with a, you know, then you've got the other Seekers. So he looks really menacing like this. He does. I don't know if he can do that. I don't know. What was I trying to do? What was I trying to do? See? Okay. So as far as first impression, like I said, the paint job just wow. But then now you see how limited he is because of the boxy construction. There's really not much you can do in terms of posability. Playability, the fact that he has a different color scheme adds to the depth of your collection. It may be the same mold, but it's got a different look. It's got a different color scheme, and that makes him a distinctly different character. One of the things that we found interesting about Sandstorm is that he was not readily available here in the country. Couldn't find him on Shopee, couldn't find him on Carousel, couldn't find him. So when we saw him in Singapore, it was like, you just gotta have it. He did not participate, or I don't think he was in the War for Cybertron trilogy, except for being an auxiliary character, pretty much like a cash grab from Hasbro. But he's pretty interesting all by himself. Price point, I can't remember how much I got him for, but the fact that he was not released locally, he's $59. Yeah, he's $59. I don't know what the conversion was in peso. Somewhere around 42. So you do the math. Probably around 2,000 plus, maybe, almost, but not 3,000. So given the fact that he was purchased outside of the country, I was able to bring him in tax-free because it was a personal purchase. I think it was a good purchase. It was a good find. I'm glad. I don't think I'll ever put him out of the box, because let's go to shelf appeal. He is a nice addition to your shelf collection, specifically with this. You know, you've got the yellow canopy, and you've got the red eyes and the black face. Not black face. I mean the black face, the black painted face. All right. Okay. So he's brown and he's got a black face. Yeah. So he's nice. Plus the canopy on the cockpit also is a nice translucent but flashy yellow orange. Really brings up the color. And again, just the overall paint scheme makes him a very interesting figure to have on your shelf. Okay? And let's do the final rating. Right. Is he cool? Is he not cool? Is he totally cool? Definitely cool. Not sure if he's totally cool. Yeah, he's just cool. The fact that he's a repaint, the fact that he has other molds with a different color, doesn't make him that distinct. But this paint scheme just pops, which makes him cool. Okay, he's not a read. He's a read deco, but he's not. He's not a drone character. Okay, so that ends our review for Sandstorm. We thank you for watching this episode. Click on like, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, on TikTok. Hit that bell button so that you could get notified for any future episodes that we would have. Before we end, just like to remind you guys, toys are not just cool, they're totally cool. So happy collecting. Bye-bye.